Offsiders, welcome to another episode of Offside Talk. I am your host, Emin. As always, I'm here with my co-host, Fatih.
Hello.
With my other co-host, Umad.
What up?
And we've got a special guest on the show today. We've got Deniz from Ruthless Gooner TV. Welcome to the show, Deniz.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Clearly, he's a Arsenal fan. Makes it good to have him on the show because obviously EPL got a start this weekend with the two opening games, Arsenal being in one of them. But before we cover the Arsenal game, guys, the first game that was up, the Sheffield United game. Unfortunately, there's more to talk about that game than actual football itself. So, anyone want to tell us what happened?
Well, it wasn't the greatest game in the world, I would say, for the beginning of the EPL after all the coronavirus and pandemic and blah, blah, blah. Majority of the problems went towards goal line technology. And it was the fact that Sheffield United scored a goal. It was from a free kick, and then the keeper caught it or something like that. But unfortunately, the keeper sort of stumbled in towards goals because Benteke sort of hit him into the goal, and all the angles of the camera was blocked. And it did not show up on Michael Oliver's goal line watch thingy. And no goal and play on. So, look, it's a bad mistake. Yes, I agree. But it's a bad mistake. But look, at the end of the day, Hawkeye has apologized. Okay, and I get that means nothing for Sheffield United from a sense. I know, I get that. But especially if it cost them, like, imagine come end of the season they miss Champions League by 2 points. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be horrible for them, and I get that. But look, from the statistic that they gave, it's the first error in 9,000 matches. Like, first error. And I get that it shouldn't happen, especially, and it makes it even more embarrassing because they actually built the technology. No, they built it at that stadium. So at Villa Park, they actually built it at that stadium, like to test it and trial and stuff. So it makes them embarrassing. So, look, I believe VAR should have stepped in. I believe the linesman's there, the ref's there. Refs should be able to check. Someone should be able to be there. What are you guys' views, man? I'll start with you, Holmes.
How do you fuck that up? Like, fucking hell. I'm actually lost for words because they've brought that goal line technology for goal line technology if the ball crosses over the line, and they've managed to fuck that up. And the fact that VAR sat there with their towels tucked between their legs, said nothing, is even a bigger fucking joke.
I'm guessing you're angry about it.
No, not really. It's just amateur. Honestly, that's just amateur. Like, yeah, he couldn't see certain angles and whatever bullshit, but VAR's there for a reason. We'd think so anyway. I don't know. If I just keep carrying on, I'm just gonna keep swearing. It's gonna end up in an X-rated episode.
Deniz, what's your view, man?
Yeah, I agree with Oms, but with the technology we've got these days, just an instant replay takes a couple of seconds just to check it. It's obvious, everyone can see it at home. All you got to do is send the ref a message, say it was a goal, and that's it, carry on. But they don't do it for some reason.
Nah, look, I agree 100%, and it makes it even funnier. I think it was the Sheffield United coach who was saying something along the lines of, in another match against Tottenham, they reviewed someone's I'm quoting him, by the way, someone's big toe as being offside for 10 minutes, and I'm pretty sure we had more than 10 minutes here to have a look at a ball going over the line, even though everyone else saw it.
Yeah, so definitely. Look, I don't think there's any problem with the Hawkeye or the goal line technology. Yeah, it's stuffed up, but once in how many games? I think the embarrassing part of this is the VAR, is that nobody even bothered. We just became so confident with goal line technology that no one even bothered to check on VAR if that ball crossed the line. I mean, watching it in real time, you can see that ball it's clearly inside. The keeper's holding it on the inside of the post. So, no, I have nothing against Hawkeye. I feel very sorry for Sheffield United, especially being in the position they are, newly promoted side, so high up the table. But it's just embarrassing by VAR, and it's once again become the topic of a game, unfortunately. So
I think they should, in the Champions League, you know how they've got officials behind the goals.
Yeah.
I think they should implement that in the EPL.
No.
Why not?
They do nothing. Literally nothing.
They don't
can't
even see
get
when
their
the
own
ball
fucking
goes out to
penalties
the
right.
corner.
Because
Yeah.
VAR does something.
But that's what I'm saying. In this scenario, VAR should have came
I reckon
in.
they
But
should
not,
try
why
it.
not getting two
I reckon they
pointless
should
referees?
Just trial it if it works.
Why not? Why not trial it? But it'll fail. They can't even get penalties right in the Champions League.
they don't even get corners right. They don't even see the ball
Then
go
get rid
out.
of
on the
every
side.
fucking retard. Just let the boys play. They don't even have a ref.
I think the linesman should have seen it, but like, what was the linesman looking at?
Well, they had the
I feel like we're watching NRL.
they had the view of what the linesman was looking at the moment. Where, like, this is where the funny thing is. If this happened in the middle of the goal, you wouldn't care that much. Do you know what I mean? You can be like, okay, fair enough. Did it go over the line? You can justify it. But the keeper was leaning on the goal lot, like on the
post.
net. No, it wasn't
On-
the post.
yeah, the net, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the net, just
Yeah.
leaning on there like this and holding it. Like, surely the linesman can see that and go, man, like, that's in. Like, there's more than in. Like,
The ref could have fucking seen that then if that's
because
the
I'm
case.
yeah, exactly. And I'm more curious for the sake of, say, imagine the keeper full fell behind the goal. Does that make sense? And it didn't go off. Would he have given it? Because he looked at his watch. That's the first thing he did.
No, look, if goal line technology doesn't say it's a goal, it's not a goal. That's ridiculous. Of course, you got to check.
But that's what I mean. They should have checked. The VAR should have kicked in. But unfortunately, hopefully they
Who
rectified
ref that
this.
game?
Michael Oliver.
You're a fuckwit, Oliver. I hope you see this, you dickhead.
That's not.
Man, honestly,
Idiot.
the Premier League referees are the worst in the world.
They are.
That's why they never get called to the World Cup.
Yeah, and that's why. What's his name? The guy. He went to Saudi Arabia.
Who the English is
Mark
English?
Clattenburg? Is it, no. Oh,
Clattenburg, yeah.
Clattenburg.
Was
Yeah.
it Clattenburg?
Yeah.
Someone who went. He left the Premier League to go ref in Saudi Arabia.
Why would you go there?
Money.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think what Ohm said hit it on the head. It was very unprofessional. It's very amateurish. And moving on, unfortunately, sorry Sheffield, on behalf of
Yeah.
Offside Talk.
I'm crying with you.
Look again. Let's move on to the big game. I should say that was the Man City Arsenal game. Unfortunately for our Ruthless Gooner here, I'm going to bring up the score along with it there. So it's a 3-0 victory for Man City. Look, to be honest, again, we have an Arsenal supporter and he can give his 100% rant on it. I'm guessing, but they started off well, in my opinion.
They did.
They started off well. They didn't get to a point where City were bombarding that defense or anything like that. It was just more along the lines. Everyone was trying to find their groove, and even when City did, Leno pulled off some amazing saves, I should say, kept them in, especially in the first half. But it was it was an assassin in disguise, Mr. David Luiz, who just caused all the problems for Arsenal, unfortunately.
Agent Louise.
Agent Luiz. Look, we had Agent Luiz, we had Agent Czech.
Agent Check, yeah.
We're all going there, mate. It's all part of the plan.
London has fallen.
London has fallen. But look, Man City getting the 3 points. But yeah, Deniz, what do you reckon here? What should happen? Nah, it's all good. Look, I'm catching you off surprise like the Arsenal defense.
What should happen as in...
Just with David Luiz, I reckon that's the
Oh.
best example here. What do you reckon? Like, is this coming to a point where Arteta goes, look, because he came off the bench. It was Pablo Mari that came off injured,
Yeah.
and then David Luiz came on. Is this the time where they go, David Luiz, you're done and dusted here?
Yeah, I believe so. His contract runs out in June 30. So if we're going to extend it, just extend it for another month or whatever until the Premier League finishes, and that's it. Don't extend it for another year. In my previous videos, I was talking about, we should keep him for another year. His experience, he's actually been playing well under Arteta. But after those two games, the game against Brentford, that stupid mistake he made, and this game obviously against Manchester City, those two crucial errors. At that age, 33 years old, you should be experienced. You shouldn't be tugging players down in the box like that. So it's unforgivable. And yeah, I think we should just get rid of him and look for some younger players.
Younger blood in the defense.
A lot of irony in Dennis's previous videos on his thing. I happened to catch one of his episodes last week where he talks about how much choice they have in the centre back, and how much of an experience, as you just said, David Luiz is, and amongst a team with so many young players, he was the one that needed the most, I don't know, coaching, or he needed more experience by his side. Maybe the youngsters
needed
can
a
teach him.
guide dog, that's what he
He
needed.
needed guidance, yeah. He needed a mentor on the field to tell him what to do. I mean, that first goal that he lets Raheem Sterling have, it's
Oh,
just,
that's amateur.
it's
That's-
so lazy.
that's
It's
lazy,
such
yeah.
a lazy attempt to get the ball, as we talked about off air, so late in the half. Why aren't you smashing that ball out of there? But yeah, look, just when things, you know, we talked about it a few weeks ago where Arsenal's on this amazing run. Obviously, Dennis, they haven't lost this year. Man City were all over the place where they dropped points to Man United. Then a couple of weeks before that, they dropped points again. But I think for the first time in a long time, we saw a dominant or a confident Man City, especially in De Bruyne and Sterling.
I don't think that was a confident Man City, to be honest. I think
don't-
that was
yeah,
just
nah, I don't think
um,
so.
a lion just devouring a deer, unfortunately, a three-legged deer, because it was just like, when you look at the game itself, if that goal doesn't go in, there's a different Arsenal coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? If like, we're all talking about ifs and buts here, but when David Luiz did that error, it just felt like you can see it in a few plays. You can see it in what's
Aubameyang. I would have been surprised if Aubameyang.
I didn't see Aubameyang, but I saw Bellerin. I saw Bellerin's reaction, and it was just more like,
He's like, fuck your shit.
I don't think that was his reaction, but it was more of a sense of disbelief, as in, like, we just did all this work, and now just before, like 60 seconds before half time, we're going to cop this shit. And then, again, the tug in the penalty area, you just don't do that. I know Mahrez is faster. I get that, and Mahrez did milk it. He threw himself up. Like,
It's a red all day, bro.
no, don't get me wrong. It's a red all day. I will never justify that red card. It's just the way that he just jumped in the air for it. Like, how do you lose your legs when you're getting pulled backwards? I don't understand. But
They all do it,
they all do it. But
unfortunately. But
it is what it is. And look, I agree with Den here with David Luiz. I've always said, and again, I'm on record here because of our previous podcast.
Yeah.
I said David Luiz on his good day, he's unstoppable, especially in centre back. But that's not his position. His position is not centre back. He is, in my opinion, one of the best CDMs at his time. Because why? He's fast. He can shoot. He can defend. He's an annoying. He's a prick.
He's got a good long ball on him.
But
too.
exactly.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
But in centre back, you are literally the last line of defence, and that pressure doesn't work on him. And then, as you can see in these types of games, it sort of stuffs over everyone, unfortunately.
Like I was surprised when he went to Arsenal.
It was a last minute
I know it
deal.
was, but I didn't think.
It was a panic buy for us
clearly.
because Koscielny wanted to leave, and the
That
club
didn't
tried to keep him. So Koscielny went on a strike, said, "I'm not playing for this crap team." And it was just a last minute panic buy. David Luiz wanted to come, and we got the deal done.
And I think it didn't help you guys that Frank Lampard sort of pushed him out as well from our end. Because in my opinion, look, again, this is just what we see in the media. We don't obviously 100% agree with what they say, but considering his attitude and his mentality in the team, as we've seen before on the field, Frank Lampard was aiming towards getting rid of anyone that's going to pretty much disrupt what he's trying to build. And David Luiz was apparently one of them. So, look, I think Arsenal can rebuild from Arteta's perspective, but I think you guys just need to spend a bit of money on that one, unfortunately. Whether Arsenal do that or not, historically, you guys have...
We're gonna call the Gronkies, man.
Don't get me started on the Cronkies, man. Don't get me started on
Historically,
them.
they haven't been ones to spend money. But look, just looking at that game itself, look, no shots on target for Arsenal. Again, that pretty much just speaks for itself. There was one move, and I can't remember who had the ball, but it was Aubameyang. He made a mad run. Like, with his speed, you should be able to just give that ball to him.
And he went the other way.
And he went the other way. And then you can just see
I would have just fucking walked off.
just the disconnection between in
It's
those
the
movements.
The midfield as well really just stood out, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and when these teams aren't gelling like that, especially, like, I understand that this whole pandemic stuff happened, but this isn't new. This isn't something new. Like, it's the same way I give shit about Chelsea and their defense as well, and how there's no connection. You can see it in other teams as well. So, look, again, possession, I don't think that's a surprise. Man City leading the way in that one, but you just got to look at the fact that even after not playing football for 2 months, Man City went out there, 18 shots, 12 on target. Like you
Yeah.
can just see that mentality where if I don't think even Pep would be happy with that, considering what's happened, because that's just not. He's the type of manager where I want 20 shots on target. That's our minimum, and that's the mentality that
Every
that
team
these
needs to
times
have.
have. Exactly, and Liverpool is another example of that, where it's just smashing that goal, and teams like Arsenal and Chelsea as well, we're playing catch up to that, unfortunately. Look,
Like I was just going to say, up until half time, I don't think we conceded too many shots. Maybe it was about 8 or 9 shots. But I think it was after Garcia got injured, they were all over us.
yep.
So they were down to 10 men and they ended up dominating us.
Yeah.
And that's where all the shots came from, I think.
Yeah, and look, just City doing what they do. Obviously, with 10 men, they're not going to let you have the ball. They're not going to let you shoot. They're not going to let you do anything. And it takes teams like...
They're going to box the shit out of that.
Exactly.
But once
right.
again, irony, you're 10 men, you have less players. But in the third goal, Arsenal had like 3 times as many, and City still got 3. It was, like you said, up until half-time, Arsenal didn't let Man City dominate. It was like second half, especially after the sending off, it was like, all right, let's just give up on this. That third goal should not have been a goal.
Yeah, I completely agree. We had players... It came off the post, so we should have defenders ready to clear the ball. But even the lineup, I wasn't happy with the lineup. You know, we had Saka starting as a right midfielder, and he's been playing left back and left midfield. Eddie and Nketiah playing up front. When we got a world-class striker playing left wing. I don't know why Arteta keeps persisting with that left wing.
With that,
I just don't get it.
With that, if you play I'm a left footer, I've played left, right, and whatever. I prefer, personally, I prefer right because you can cut the ball. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what Arteta saw. Put him on the right, give him the ball, he can cut back in.
I
don't
get
know.
that, but
That's the only thing
he
I can
has
think
not
of.
played right midfield ever since I've seen him play for Arsenal. He's always been on the left. And, you know, we've got Nicolas Pepe. Where was he? Where was Mesut Ozil? He's on 350k a week, and he's not even in the squad.
Yeah.
I think it's
Ozil
like-
has his own problems at the moment, considering he's getting abandoned by sponsors. I think Arteta came out and said he just doesn't see something in him, or there's no motivation or something like that out of Ozil. So I think there's just a
We all
massive
saw
problem between coaching and player at the moment
I saw-
regarding
Well-
Ozil and Arteta.
I reckon he's finished. He's done. You know, he's a waste of money. He's just relaxing in London. He's always just playing COD or whatever he's doing.
It's not his
You know,
fault.
he's always got a back injury. He's sick, or there's always an excuse with him. And when you're on that money, you should
gotta
come in the
perform.
team and change the game. He doesn't do that. He's just a passenger. So I can't wait till we get rid of him as well.
Look, just to summarise on the Arsenal City, City obviously the second. I don't know how many points, 20,
It's 20.
48
it's
points
22
behind
for now.
Liverpool. I don't
22
know.
for now.
Arsenal sit ninth, 8 points from fourth. You guys aren't too far behind. I know on paper it looks good, but considering the teams that are in the middle as well, you have Tottenham, Man United, Sheffield United, Wolves, all competing for this fourth spot. So just before we summarise it, just a quick question for the Ruthless Gooner. Aubameyang, do you keep him or get rid of him?
I think we should do whatever we can to keep him, but
I can't see
I
him
think
staying.
because he's been giving out cryptic messages, I think he wants to see the club with ambition. So if they go out and try to get, you know, like a defensive midfielder or fix the positions that we need to fix, I'm sure he'll stay. But if we don't and we stick with the crap we've got now, then yeah, I honestly think that he'll leave. So I think it's an ambition thing from the club. And many players, like in the past as well, they've left because of the same thing. Robin Van Persie is one of them. Fabregas, they see no ambition and then they leave.
They leave and win trophies.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We've gone through that too, don't worry.
Fabregas, man, he was one of my favourite players after Thierry Henry. And
No, he was,
he wanted to come back to Arsenal and we didn't buy him back. I was spewing, man.
This is when he came to us, didn't he?
yeah, I was spewing.
Then he won stuff.
Look, to be honest, I actually remember how I woke up to that news where it's like I just woke up and I see Fabregas in a Chelsea jersey. I'm just like, the fuck just happened here? I'm like, and it was just a I couldn't believe it that he didn't go back to Arsenal. Like, it would just be something that you would expect it from Arsene Wenger to do that.
I blame that on Wenger. He's like, we've got Mesut Ozil. That's what he
Why
said.
not have Fabregas?
Why not have both? Why not have both, man?
Exactly, man. You couldn't have done wrong there.
Especially in that season where Leicester won it, we finished second. You know, if we had Fabregas that year, you never know, man.
Exactly.
You know, he's got
Yeah,
goals
that'd
in
be a
him.
game changer.
He can control the midfield, and we're just lacking that extra world-class player.
I can't believe, you guys did come second that year. Eh?
Yeah, we
Far
did,
out.
but
Because everyone was rebuilding.
exactly.
Yeah,
We were finishing, like 10th or something?
And we're like almost balls deep in relegation.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
The good
Alright.
old days.
All right, boys. We got the full round coming up. It's a full match day, I should say. There are some big games, and there's some games that actually I'm going to say all of these are big games to a certain extent. Where we got teams fighting for relegation, we got teams fighting for top four, or again, we're still pending on the Man City decision whether they're going to be banned or not. But at the moment, technically, they're not playing Champions League, so you potentially have 2 spots open up, or 3 spots, considering Leicester City's just randomly there. Look, in my opinion, the big game, you got 2 massive games here. You got one that's Tottenham, Manchester United. This is the first time Mourinho's going to host his former club, Manchester United, that is. I don't know if this is the best time to say if they're going to win or not, considering no one knows how each other's forms are currently going
They both
into.
lost their trial games, didn't they? Their friendlies.
I can't
Didn't Tottenham
remember. I
lose?
thought Man United won.
Man
they
United won.
lost.
Yeah.
They won. Oh no, I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
But I think
I
thought they
Tottenham have a
lost.
lot of players back from injury as well.
That's what I was getting
Yeah,
to.
there's that too.
because they had a
Son
lot of
and
players
Kane-
out.
Kane.
Correct. They had Kane out. Now Kane, as soon as Kane left, Kane was injured, I should say. Their striking their goals just declined. Like it sort of felt like Mourinho just stepped back and said, "Hey man, I just need to grab points out of this game. Defend. Now he's pretty much got a full squad. Now they were criticised for not social distancing and blah blah blah. So I don't know if their training method is going to be a lot better than half the other teams out there. But look, with the Tottenham Man United game, I went for a draw just based on the fact that it is Man United and it is Tottenham, and Tottenham and a Mourinho team know how to defend, and Man United, they don't know exactly how to score. So I've gone more of a draw here. So I'll start with you, Em, on this one.
I went with, like you said, man, it's hard to say after such a long break. But I went with Man United for my prediction, only going off form before the break. That is, of course, neglecting the fact that Tottenham have all their players back from injury. We know how critical Harry Kane can be in that
Someone's got
in that team.
Yeah, I'm dying.
But I've gone with Man United, and yeah, that's it from me.
Omar?
Yeah, I was going to say draw as well. Even though Spurs have their players back. And when they did have them, I wasn't overly convinced with their football. United, they've gone a bit better. But they're still, like, personally, they're not really great. Anything crash out to watch. Same as Tottenham. I'm going to draw all day.
Then?
Before the pandemic, I actually picked Man United, but since Tottenham's got their players back, I'm going to go for a draw as well.
I can't see you picking Tottenham to begin with. So.
I never picked the scum to win.
Look, the one massive thing that I think we all have to look out for, and I think this is everyone just in football in general, I think this is the first time we're going to see Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba work together. Now, this is the, how can I say, the holy grail for Manchester United that everyone was speaking about, that was leading to before the pandemic and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Can't
good on
wait
them.
till Bruno does this. So
Yeah.
we might actually see this in action and see if this actually pans out. Now I'm going to skip ahead towards the end of the match day here. You got the derby themselves, Everton versus their smaller neighbours Liverpool. So we'll ask the Liverpool supporters: is this an easy 3 points, and is the Crystal Palace game going to be the title winning match, if I should say? So I'll start with Ohms on this one. Is this it for you guys?
Like, recently it's been an easy win. Oh, I think the last 1-0, I think it was.
That
If I'm not
Pickford
wrong.
mistake. Do you remember
Yeah,
that one?
that- At the end of the day, win's a win. In derbies, like anything can happen. It's been 2 months off. Hopefully, we run right over them. I'm gonna say Liverpool. Maybe 3-1.
Going for a big win there. Ems?
Look, I'm gonna back Liverpool any day of the week, but what the biggest thing for me, as we've talked about on the show before, is where's Liverpool were sort of saved by the bell before the pandemic hit. We were playing awful football. Yeah. We lost 3-0 to Watford. The biggest question in my mind is, do we continue to see that Liverpool game just before the pandemic, or are we going to go back onto being that dominant team we have been all season? And every Liverpool player wants to see that dominant performance. Obviously, to win the title, almost, Everton would be fantastic. I'm not going to say 3-1 like Ohms. I don't think we'll have a clean sheet, though. I'm going to say 2-1 win to Liverpool.
Then?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Liverpool as well. But, Everton, they've got a new manager, Ancelotti, and Richarlison's been playing good under him, same as Calvert-Lewin. So I think they might grab a goal, but I think Liverpool will be too strong.
Liverpool. I think we're all going for Liverpool in this one. I've got Liverpool themselves. Look, I can't. I think there was a stat. Liverpool, how long has it been since Everton's actually won a derby? Do you know what I mean? I can't personally remember the last time. So
in the last 6, we've won 4 and 2 draws. So Everton have won none.
So there you go. Look, on paper, if you went on form, yeah, I agree with M. Liverpool weren't heading into the best direction. They lost to Watford. I think it was 2 rounds before the closures.
Thanks to that little shit writing Klopp the letter.
Pretty much, yeah. Yes, the little kid did write the letter. But look,
thank God for that.
You little fat nugget. It's your fault.
Again, we don't believe in abusing children, especially live on air. But again, that's Omer's opinion, not offside talks. But yeah, look, I'm going with Liverpool's win on this one. So I think it will be an easy win, considering that everyone's off. Just the power of Liverpool and the attack. Look, again, I've always believed Klopp's mentality. You don't have to defend that well. You just got to outscore them. So if you score 7 goals but cop 4, still a win.
That's not good enough for Omar.
That's the Liverpool mentality. Look, we'll quickly touch base on your team, Arsenal. Then, is this sort of the backup? I know you guys are versing Brighton away. Again, no crowds, no nothing.
Doesn't mean anything.
Is this the game where you go, you know what? Forget about the City game. It is what it is. Let's just start putting the best 11 forward and try to move up.
We have to react in this game, for sure. But we've got Pablo Mari's out for the season.
Yep. Fucking hell.
The clown David Luiz, he's missing a match or 2. So
we've got favor.
So that's the advantage for you guys, yep.
Yeah,
sort of. But then we've got another centre back in Socrates. He can't even pass a 5-meter ball. So we've got him. We've got Rob Holding, which he came back from an ACL injury, and he's not the same. He still doesn't look like he's up to scratch. So, and we've got Mustafi as well. So, look, Mustafi played decent, but he's got a mistake in him as well. So,
yep.
I'm not sure if Granit Xhaka is going to play. I'm not saying he's world class or anything, but he's better than all the players we've got in the midfield. At least he's got a bit of experience and he can pass the ball around. Guendouzi, he's too young. He's like a headless chicken. So, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I hope we can get the win. I'll say we'll win 2-1.
I was about to say, are you going to say Brighton to win? Or
Look, Brighton actually played decent football. The last time we played against them, they actually dominated us. It was embarrassing. And David Luiz was at fault for that goal. He was out of position
surprise.
Where they scored the header. So, I don't know, man. As a fan, I'm hoping we'll win. I'll say 2-1.
M?
I tipped Arsenal to win.
Arsenal.
Look, if you consider yourself a top 6 club and you can't beat Brighton, I don't know. Got to ask some questions, but I've tipped Arsenal.
Holmes?
Well, coming back to what Emin said, in the last 6, it's literally 1 apiece. Like they've won 2, Brighton have won 2 and 2 draws. So it's pretty pretty even.
You still got
I'm
Arsenal though.
just- I don't know. I'm gonna say Arsenal. You better fucking win. Fuck, don't embarrass me.
Well, I hope we win, man. If we don't, we're done. We're done for the season.
Oh look, considering the position and the other teams that are playing, I think it would be top 4 gone, maybe Europa League at best if possible. Look, I've gone Arsenal. I just see them bouncing back. I think, look, just drop the whole defending. Again, like I said, with the Klopp mentality, just stuff defending. Just go all out attack. You concede 1 or you concede 2, just make sure you score 4.
Yeah,
You got Lacazette, you got Aubameyang, you got Pepe, you got all. Just chuck them all on. Put it literally 9 attackers on. Don't worry about defense. Just
Put
chuck 'em
Ozil
on.
in centre back. He can't make any more mistakes.
That's it. Just put them all on and just try to outscore your opponent. At least that way it'll be 3 points. You concede 8 goals, you score 9. It won't matter. But look, I've gone Arsenal for this one. Look, we'll quickly touch base on. I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the teams, a bit of the smaller clubs here. Norwich, Southampton. I've gone Southampton on the base that Norwich are last. That's literally my basis.
so have I.
I know Norwich will probably be more G'd up if they had a crowd because they are coming last. Maybe they G up to try to get out of relegation if possible for them. But I just can't see Norwich building up that rage to bring out 3 points for them.
Before the break, they were on very similar form, actually. Look, Norwich actually has 1 draw over Southampton's
There you
thing.
go.
So, depending on how they go back, and of course, talking about before the break is almost like another season now. So, I said Southampton to win as well, but this one could go either way, I think.
Holmes?
I'm gonna say Sodden, just the fact that Norwich are last.
Yeah.
Again in the last 6 meetings, Norwich up 4-1 with 1 draw. So, but yeah, just purely based on that they're sitting balls deep last, I'm just gonna go Southampton.
You've done your homework, bro.
Yeah.
I got Southampton here, but it's anyone's game.
It is. These games are hard to predict, man, because, again, we're not basing it on form. We're not basing it on something that we've seen. We've seen players come out with haircuts that shouldn't be on their heads, if that makes sense. Like Mane, how we discussed a couple of, was it last week or the week
Yeah.
before?
Has anyone donated any hair yet?
Look, I'm pretty sure they've all gotten haircuts because now they're on national television. Look, the next game for them, next game up is Watford-Leicester City. Now, Leicester City sit in 3rd. I don't think many people expected them to be there, especially at this time of the season. There's 9 games left after this. I think they're 5 points or 6 points ahead of Chelsea, so that position is a bit secure for them from a Champions League perspective. Especially if City go out, their position becomes a lot stronger here. So look, with Watford, they've been an up and down club. I know they beat Liverpool, and I think they were just G'd up to beat Liverpool, if that makes sense. But straight after that game, they lost. So I think Leicester City, just the manager that they have, the players that they have, break or no break, I can just see them taking this one out.
I'm saying 3-0 Leicester.
You're saying 3-0 Holmes?
Wow, comfortable.
Em?
Look, I think for Leicester, it's been a little bit of a case like it was for Liverpool, a bit of a saved by the bell, because even though they started the season really, really strong, they were consistent. The back end of that, before the break,
That took the foot off the pedal.
yeah,
a
they
bit.
did. They've got 2 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. So there was a bit of inconsistency there. So I'm hoping that for Leicester's sake, I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. That they keep on that form that they were early in the season. I've got them winning. If I had to predict the score, I would say 2-0. I don't see them being any more comfortable than that.
Den?
I'm going to go against the grain and say Watford to win 2-1. You know, they've got some quality players. They've got Deulofeu. They've got Troy Deeney up front. He's all right when he's on.
He's just a fat fuck, that guy. He just irritates me.
Yeah, but he bangs in the goals, man, you know. And obviously they beat Liverpool. I think I'll bring that up again.
Thanks.
And you know what? They're towards the bottom of the ladder, so they'll be fighting for their lives. I reckon that will play a big part.
Yeah, they're sitting 17th, equal points, I think.
Yeah, and look, again, all these teams are going to be they're going to be fighting for relegation. So, considering the pandemic, the financial stress that these clubs are going to go under, I can't see none of these clubs sort of G'd up to be missing out on financial revenue that the Premier League brings, pretty much. So, look, the next game after this is West Ham Wolves. Now another team that we didn't expect to be in a position that they would have been. I think earlier on in the season we did say that Wolves were going to be top 6, and I think that was just based on the players that they brought in and stuff like that.
They got a bit of money.
They got a pretty good backing. I just didn't I know I expected them to do well. I just didn't expect them to latch on. For this long. Considering West Ham and the way that they're playing, I've gone Wolves. I can't see Wolves losing just with the manager that they have, the players that they have. A lot of the players are actually on target for some of the major clubs for transfer, like from a transferring perspective. So like Perez and Liverpool have been floating in the media just recently. So look, I've gone Wolves with this one. Just to hear your boys' predictions. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I've got Wolves as well. They've been an exciting team to watch this season. And like you said, I don't see them losing to West Ham personally.
Yeah, same. In their last minutes, they're pretty much on top of West Ham. They play exciting football. Wolves all day.
Wolves all day.
I'm going to go for a draw.
Well,
The Wolves have had 13 draws, the most in
True.
the Premier League, equal with Arsenal. And so the more draws, the less losses, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
But
definitely true.
they
also,
can't win if you don't lose.
West Ham, they're struggling as well towards the bottom of the ladder. Like I said, with Watford, they'll be fighting for their lives. When they played against Liverpool, I thought they did really well. So if they can bring that same attitude against Wolves, they could possibly get a draw.
Well, we're all giving some different opinions here. It's fun having a nice Arsenal supporter on here for once. And most of the people that we've guessed it is either been Liverpool or Manchester United. So it's been good here. Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. Again, I think this is one of those games where you just don't know based on no form here. I've gone draw. Again, based it on what? Literally just the fact that Crystal Palace on their best day can grind out these types of results, especially against a team like Bournemouth. You would expect Zaha and his teammates to just step up just a little bit and just get that win. But yeah, I've gone a draw here just based on no form, to be honest.
Yeah, I've gone the same Fats because when I looked at this fixture, I was like, I don't know where to go, so I'm just going to say draw. So really don't know with this one.
I'm going to go Bournemouth. I reckon Bournemouth will,
Based on
I know that. Oh no, I think. Oh, to be honest, I don't fucking know.
I think we should all just stick with a draw on this one, unless someone knows something we don't know. Then
I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace
you're
win
going Crystal Palace.
because they're a counter-attacking side. They seem to do better away from home than at home because they like to obviously sit back and then hit them on the counter. So defensively, Bournemouth isn't too great. So I think Crystal Palace can maybe snatch a goal and get a win.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, to be honest. Now we've got the new potential to be Saudis, Newcastle, to verse the massive underdogs of the season here, Sheffield United. Now they were robbed, as we spoke about, with the whole goal line debacle. With this game, look, Newcastle, they haven't been at their best, even when before the pandemic happened. They were just grinding results that people didn't expect, and they were losing games that people expected to win. I've gone Sheffield United. I see the pressure just learning from their mistakes at Villa and just going straight into it, going with a win for Sheffield United.
Nice. I've gone with a draw with this one. I think this is a game of emotions. You've got one team, Sheffield United, who are robbed of a goal, robbed of 2 points. And then on the other hand, you've got a team who's potentially being taken over. So very different emotions, but a game of emotions. Once again, I didn't know how this one's going to go, so I've just tipped it a draw. But I think Sheffield's got a bit of a hand up on this one, just looking at where they are on that table. But Newcastle, with those emotions, could bring a different game. So I've gone with a draw.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw because both Newcastle with the potential takeover and Sheffield being done yesterday, day before. I felt that needs to be motivation for Sheffield. Like they just got to push and push and push for Europa, potentially even Champions League. So they need to forget about that. As shit of a call that was, you need to move on, push on, try to push for a spot. I'm gonna go Sheffield United. Even though Newcastle are like 5-1 since the last meeting, but at the moment doesn't mean shit. I don't think, because they're a very average side. Sheffield is gonna take them out. I reckon.
I think Sheffield United, quality-wise, they're a little bit better than Newcastle. But on their day, Newcastle's a decent team. So I'm just going to go for a draw.
Go for a draw. Who we got? We got Villa, Chelsea. We don't need form. Chelsea's the greatest team. So they're going to win this season. Look, going off, again, there's no form here. Again, we've seen Chelsea give stupid results against teams that we should be winning. At Villa Park, look, considering the match that Villa played, they didn't play that great. They're not positioned that great in the table. There wasn't that fire and urgency in the Sheffield United game. Chelsea, we've got a few players back, which helps us. Loftus-Cheek, who was actually recovering, wasn't actually supposed to be playing this year at all, but with the pandemic, he's actually got that extra 2 months to come back. Just to fit, I'm just going off paper here and the fact that I'm wearing a Chelsea jumper. Chelsea to win this one easy. So, Ems?
Yeah, I'm going to say Chelsea easy as well, and not much else to say.
Yeah, Ems?
Yeah, Chelsea. I'm going to be pissed if they lose.
Look, they got to play the full 90 minutes to win this game.
That's the big problem with us. We'll score 2 goals, and then it's like, it's the 9th minute. Let's relax. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that it's happened so many times this year, and we end up either losing or just completely just switching off and copying a goal in the 90th minute.
I think that comes down to inexperience as well. You guys have a ton of young players.
Very young team,
so managing a game isn't as easy without those experienced players.
Well, just on a side note, I know the Liverpool supporters are here as well, so it's nice to have Timo Werner signed for Chelsea, even though he was a Liverpool target. I know certain people like Ohms here is very happy that he signed for Chelsea and not Liverpool. So again, welcome Timo Werner. Let's switch back to Den on this one. So Villa or Chelsea on this one, man, as an Arsenal supporter.
Well, Chelsea should get it done, but they have lost against some bottom teams as well, like I think Bournemouth and West Ham this year, if I'm correct.
I think it was Bournemouth. I'm not sure about West Ham.
No, I don't know.
But we have lost against some pretty shit teams this year.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go for a 2-1 win.
2-1 win. All right. We've given City and Everton and Liverpool, and the last game of the match day was a match day 29. City Burnley. I don't think there's much thing to talk about.
Yeah, Burnley comfortable.
Burnley easy 5-1. Look, City just based on their midweek result. I'm pretty sure Pep will still rile into them, considering that they won. Just City.
And Burnley hasn't even beaten them in the last 6 anyway.
There you go. You've done your homework, Holmes.
100% I have.
Look at
Nice
this.
work,
Look at this go. See, Ems.
Like I said before, look, even though Arsenal did somewhat make Man City look good, it was good to see Sterling get a goal for the first time in like 9 games or whatever it was.
Fuck Sterling.
No, I like Sterling.
Fuck him. Why?
Because he's just a class player. With that said, like, too much class in the midfield for me with Man City. So, an easy win. I wouldn't be shocked if this is 4-5-1 or something like that. 4-0, 5-1 or something.
Yeah, those plastic fuckers they're gonna smack them out of the park. I can't see Burnley even salvaging a point here.
Just thinking about that then.
Depends how the game goes. Honestly, look, Burnley.
Oh, wow.
Burnley parked the bus. They've got big bullies in their team. So if they can... City's going to come.
We'll give a 5-minute analysis about Burnley.
It's happened before where the other team just defends and City can't break them. So, but, they've got quality all over the park. All their players are back from injury as well, so City should get it done.
They've got Laporte as well. He's back too, so...
Well, we've all back City on that one. Look, that's match day 29. Before we get into my one, do we have anything else that we want to discuss?
Yeah. Look, I think Den's last words were back from injury. Just something interesting. I think we touched on this before all the games started. And obviously, the correct things, that parameters have been set so that the safety and the well-being of the players are considered returning from a long, lengthy time away from the game.
It's fake.
That's your opinion, but
They'll shadow ban you for that, bro. Because I think I got shadow banned.
I like we are slowly getting subscribers, Zomas, so I would like to keep them, please.
But regardless of what your opinions are on the whole pandemic, taking 3 months off, it's produced some unbelievable statistics. I mean, I went through some of the injury lists for the Bundesliga. Obviously, it was the league that started first. Since it started now, these injuries, not all of them are severe injuries, okay? Some of them are like muscle spasms or like muscle strains or like
calf strain or something, yeah.
something small. But since it started back on the 16th of May, there has been 91 injuries in the Bundesliga.
So 91 injuries over a month.
Yeah. And this is
but
just since the first game day. This is not considering injuries that have happened in the 2 or 3 weeks before the game started for the training and the preparations. So 91 injuries. Obviously, we saw in the EPL game this weekend, there was 3 in the Arsenal versus City game.
Yeah.
We saw the 2 horrendous injuries in the Super League this week, in the Turkish league. La Liga has had 29 injuries since it started. That started last weekend.
Yep.
So that is an unbelievable amount of injuries. The question I sort of wanted to pose for you guys is not what your whole view of the whole pandemic is, but have the leagues been rushed where these players haven't been prepared enough? They haven't had enough time to prepare, and is this the reason why we're having so many injuries, or is this just bad luck and it's just a coincidence? I just want to see what you guys think of it.
It's a hard one, to be honest. It would fall down to preparation. Preparation is the biggest thing. There's a reason why teams have preseason. There's a reason why all this type of stuff happen before the season begins. It's so that players can slowly start to get into form. Now, considering what's happened, these players didn't even get a chance to, depending on the country, I should say, didn't have a chance to go out, run on the field properly or kick a ball properly. And most of the players are set up in their own houses or in their own wherever they live, to be honest. Most of them just went on holiday and just stayed in their holiday houses, like not doing anything or juggling toilet paper on TikTok. Look, it's just that was literally all more common because they gave 2 weeks for the Premier League or 3 weeks for the Premier League or something like that, and it was go time. While preseason and off season is all majority is 8 to 10 weeks. Started with the training, then you go overseas and et cetera, et cetera. Now I get it from a sense of they didn't have that much time. They need to finish the season. Unlike League One, who half the players are all having parties and shit like that. Majority of these players got rushed into it, in my opinion, a little bit, but they didn't have another option besides cancelling the league or cancelling matches. So again, that's just my view. I think injuries are more they're gonna come. I wouldn't count some of the ones, like the one in the Arsenal City game where I think it was Gabriel Sanchez for the Man City player. They got absolutely demolished by the goalkeeper.
Garcia, was it?
Garcia, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
He got absolutely smashed by the keeper. That doesn't fall down to this, but it will be counted in that number. Exactly,
Yeah,
it can
it
happen.
does. Yep.
It would fall under this number. So again, I feel like they have been rushed, but they just didn't have a choice. They didn't have an opinion, like a choice in the matter.
How many injuries do leagues usually get though per round?
That's another thing as well.
Because we're kind of keeping an eye on it at the moment because of the pandemic and all that. If we can get the figures for just a normal season, it might be.
Yeah,
That's a great point. That's what I was going to say. I mean, all eyes are on this. Obviously, before EPL even started, they were saying, the Bundesliga has a crazy amount of injuries. Is it going to happen in the EPL? So obviously, we've got a heightened attention on these injuries. It's an interesting point to make. But I think off air, Den and I were talking and we're saying, there wasn't even contact training happening, before the games and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I guess the FA and FIFA and UEFA involved that's why they've come up with these 5 substitutions and the drink breaks and, to try and stop this. But I guess it's inevitable when you're not training like you usually do on a preseason. Like I said, this is like a brand new season with how much time they've had off.
Yeah, it's almost, 2 months off that they had. And look, at the end, it's even more funny because again we're talking about no contact sport, but these players are playing on the pitch, and it was more funny because I was watching the City Arsenal game, and the social distancing for the bench was 3 rows. Like it wasn't like Bundesliga where it was.
I'd rather fucking get AIDS.
It is ridiculous.
I don't
It's
think
bullshit.
you would, but they would.
Trust me.
They trust me. I know. No, I'm joking. Look, it's just it just doesn't make sense from that. Look, the more we keep doing that type of stuff, I would assume that the injuries are going to keep rising up, where players can't train like they normally train. Because if we give this type of example where we can't do contact sport, so if a player is injured, how does he get physio? How do they get their normal massages and runs and stuff like that? Because
That have to.
They do it through Zoom, so their physio goes on the video and tells them where to rub.
Now go rub your bloody gooch.
So again, like, see what I mean? Where we're saying they can do this, but they can't do that. So
Become a joke.
obviously, there's going to be injuries that happen. But Holmes, do you want to give an opinion on this whole contact and injuries and stuff like that?
The injury figures are expected. They've been off for 2 months, and Emin's question if they've been rushed. Yeah, they've given 3 weeks. Yeah, you could say it's been rushed, but what are you going to do, void the season? You can't.
I wish we did though.
Well, no, you not avoid bloody supporters. Good luck to you.
Nah, look, I wanted the season to finish. I know we're doing shit, but you got to finish the season off.
Well,
it's
So you
only
don't
fair.
believe it? Why would you finish it?
Like, it's only fair to finish the season.
No, it's not.
But if I had a choice,
I wouldn't want the season to finish. Nah.
if we go by last year's results, I'd void the season for sure. But it's only fair to finish it.
Yeah. Look, again, there's only one league that's done that, or one major league, I should say, which is the League One.
Major. A-League's bigger than that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that one. All right. Last segment now. I've been trying to do this for Emin's favourite segment.
This is the best segment. I'm
This
going
is
to
the
get my
fun
little
one.
timer out.
All right, boys. So this is your football news for the week in under 2 to 3 minutes. I don't know if this is under 2-3 minutes, but usually it's under 2-3 minutes. All right, so let's start now. So Chelsea reportedly is going to sell N'Golo Kante to fund more funds for transfers. I don't agree with this, but Liverpool. Again, I could see him going to Liverpool, to be honest, but I don't think he'd suit their style of play. FIFA 21 has been confirmed to be released worldwide, October 9th, whoever's interested.
They've changed their logo too.
And they changed the logo. If you're on EA Access and all the other free premium shit, you get it on October 1st.
Is that for PS5 or both?
No, PS5 won't be out then.
PS5 won't be out, but I'm pretty sure the PS5 is going to be backwards compatible to begin with, from what I've been told. But I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure EA won't hesitate to roll out their copies straight away because it's a money cow. UEFA has confirmed the Champions League will be completed in a 12-day last 8-minute tournament held in Lisbon in August. So Chelsea, Bayern and all them will finish off their second legs, and then any game after that will just be a one-off neutral ground knockout stage until it is finished. Bayern Munich have agreed to extend Brazil playmaker Philippe Coutinho's loan from Barcelona beyond 30th of June so that the 28-year-old can play in the final stages of the Champions League. I don't doubt Bayern Munich will go to the next stage of the Champions League, considering they demolished Chelsea. Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish has been charged with driving without due care and attention and failing to stop at or report a collision. I don't know if Villa's going to put any extra charges or etc. on top of that, so we're just going to have to wait and find out.
His price is
I
just
doubt
dropped.
it, man. He's their best player.
Yeah.
The Turkish Super Cup final will be contested by Alanyaspor and Trabzonspor. I never thought I'd say that before. Napoli fans have ignored social distancing as thousands gathered in the streets to celebrate the team's Coppa Italia win over Juve on penalties.
Well done.
That's a massive win for a team that doesn't win that many trophies, and this is Gattuso's first ever trophy. Arsenal, we've discussed this. Arsenal's Pablo Mari ruled out for the rest of the season due to the injury in the City game. Inter Milan are in talks to extend Alexis Sanchez's stay in Italy from Manchester United.
He must have something over them.
Inter must like spending money. and Real Madrid's Luka Jovic. Is it Jovic or Jovic? I can't know.
Jovic, I think.
Luka Jovic wants to do a 2-year loan deal to AC Milan because he's not getting enough game time, and he's only scored 2 goals since his £54 million transfer to Real Madrid. And that is my news under 2 to 3 minutes. Ems, I'm still under.
2 minutes 42, and we
That's
even
it.
interrupted you.
That's why I give the 2-3 minute badge thing. It gives me time to do what I need to do. So there's your
Oh,
football.
we weren't supposed to interrupt?
Everyone's more than happy to give whatever they want. That's your news for for this week under 2 to 3 minutes. Ems.
And that's a wrap from us at Offside Talk. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and like us on Facebook. On behalf of the boys here at Offside Talk, I want to say a massive thank you to Deniz for joining us. Guys, we're going to put his details down in our description for the Ruthless Gooner TV. Go over there and give him a subscribe as well. Both channels are growing channels. That's why we've sort of done this collaboration. So your support is very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much, Deniz.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully I can do it again.
Yes,
We'll see, man. We'll put you on probation.
it's been great to have the insight of another football fan.
First Arsenal supporter, so.
First Arsenal supporter, yeah. So, and as always, guys, stay offside.